For those that don't actually remember what that is, there's a reason why I got this old laptop right here. Wait a minute, y'all. So did we just get 1, 2, 3, 4 iPhone announcements today? Tim Cook, you feeling okay over there, bro? Oh, and the prices. Oh boy. Let's go ahead and talk about it, because if you like me and you're wondering which iPhone that you guys need to upgrade to, from either coming from the iPhone 7, 8, 10, 10s Max, 11, 11 Pro, well, if so, you came to the right place. So let's go ahead and talk about it. What up, y'all? C-Kid Tech here, man, and I like to talk as well as rap about all things tech. And if your last name is not Scootin' Doodle, then go ahead and hit that like button right now, man. Go ahead and leave me a what's up in the comments. Now, watch there actually be one person out there whose last name is Scootin' Doodle. But anyway, man, so today Apple gave us a lot to talk about with the announcement of 4 iPhones and a new HomePod mini smart speaker, which you guys can find out more immediately following this video. So definitely make sure you guys click on that video at the end and watch that right after this one. But mainly in this video, guys, I'm going to be helping you make the best decision when it comes to picking up the iPhone 12 or the 12 Pro, and which one that I personally think that you should buy. So first thing, let's go ahead and talk about the iPhone 12 and the 12 mini before we actually get into the iPhone 12 Pro and the Pro Max, because that's an entirely different beast, and I'll explain that later on who I personally think that those phones are best suited for. So the iPhone 12 and the 12 mini, and I'm grouping them together for specs and feature wise, because everything I'm about to mention is literally the exact same for both, and only really the difference is the size. Now, the iPhone 12, which price starts at $799, has a 6.1-inch display, which literally is the same size as the iPhone XR 11 and about 0.3 inches bigger than the iPhone XS Max that I personally use as my daily driver. Now, the iPhone 12 mini, which price starts at $699, has a 5.4-inch display, which is only about 0.4 inches smaller than the size of the iPhone 10 as well as the iPhone XS. So now that you guys pretty much got the sizes of the phones as well as the prices in your head, let's go ahead and talk about a couple features that it actually offers. Now, the first one that stands out to me is the display itself. Now, they both will feature Apple's top of the line Super Retina XDR display, which I have to add is the exact same as the more premium iPhone 12 Pro and the Pro Max. Now, they did mention about the new ceramic shield that is supposed to make the iPhone glass 4 times stronger than any of the other iPhone previous models. Now, I'm not saying go ahead, throw your phone in the street and get it ran over by a car on purpose, or just go ahead and throw it down some stairs and it won't break. But supposedly this should help with the accidental normal drops that typically happens and crack screens like the phone that I personally have, because at the end of the day, it's still glass, and glass is not indestructible. So just keep that in mind. Now, they both also come with 5G, and I'm gonna be honest, 5G is dope, right? But I wouldn't at this moment make your whole purchasing decision based off of 5G by itself, because I do believe that 5G is the future and this will become a bigger selling point. But as for right now in today's society, 5G is really not that prevalent in many areas, and you really won't experience those high speeds that they talk about. Now, another good thing I was happy to see was the new design, which makes the iPhone now thinner, smaller, as well as lighter than any other iPhone, man, that is out there. And as a person, man, that get a lot of phones to test out here on the channel, the iPhone has always been the heaviest when I'm actually switching up devices. And it is noticeable too. Like, if you're coming from like a Pixel device or a Galaxy device, Galaxy devices and Pixel devices are much lighter than iPhone devices. I'm not sure why Apple hasn't really transitioned over to those lighter materials, but I'm sure there's a whole reason behind it. But as of right now, iPhones are definitely the heavier phones. But it seems like with this new design that they're pretty much going more to the lighter routes when it comes to the phone and materials than themselves. Because you probably like me, who wouldn't want a lighter phone to carry around in their pockets? I mean, I know I would, especially now that we're getting new colors. That's right, man. So the new iPhone 12 and the 12 mini comes in some dope colors, and at the end I'll go ahead and tell you guys which color that I'm personally going to be picking up for myself, so stick around for that if you're interested in that. But it comes in white, blue, black, as well as green and a product red. Now, I'm actually glad to see that Apple is actually starting to bring more colors to their products. I just wish they would have just brought it over to the HomePod mini as well, but we're gonna talk about that in the next video that y'all gonna watch right after this one. Now, if you guys follow me over on Twitter, then you already know which color that I'm already hyped for, but if you haven't seen it, then we're gonna talk about that a little later in this video. So let's go ahead and move on to the cameras. Now, I've actually said this time and time again on this channel, and that is the iPhone, no matter which one you got, has the best overall camera system of any smartphone that is out there, and Apple did not fall short in this one in today's reveal. So on the iPhone 12 and the 12 mini, you guys get an ultra wide as well as a wide angle lens that is paired with Apple's super powerful A14 processing chip that can shoot Dolby Vision HDR video up to 30 frames per second. Now, I know you guys are probably like, well, Devin, Dolby Vision, yeah, I've heard it, but what is it? So most of you guys out there, you probably got either a Netflix subscription, you got Apple TV Plus subscription, Disney Plus subscription, all of those different subscriptions to be able to watch a lot of the content that you guys watch on your 4K TVs or whatever. So a lot of that content that you guys are watching on those platforms, they're in Dolby Vision HDR, which is the reason why it looks so crystal clear. So the fact that Apple is actually putting this type of technology into these new phones across the board is actually amazing, and it definitely should be known about how dope this really is. Now, I'm personally going to be testing this out for you guys and showing it off. So if you guys want to see that, definitely make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Click on the subscribe button right now. Turn on notification bell so that way you guys will be the first ones to know when that video is released. Now, it also comes with the MagSafe technology. Now, for those that don't actually remember what that is, there's a reason why I got this old laptop right here. And I ain't gonna cap, this is not even my laptop. This is my wife's old MacBook Pro that she had right here. But I wanted to show you guys, if you don't remember what MagSafe is the technology that they used to use on these computers where they used to actually have it with the charging cable. So basically you would be able to take this cable here, which used to be the charge one, and you just put it right in there and it would actually charge up the old MacBook Pros laptops that they had. But the cool thing about this is if you were just to walk by one and you accidentally tripped on the cable, you didn't have to worry about your laptop just flying all over the place, and that was a huge bonus for this. But the cool thing about it is that they're actually bringing this feature back to the iPhones for magnetic charging, magnetic cases, as well as magnetic wallets. Now, I'm excited for this because I can actually see now people actually building their own TikTok, IG stories, or even YouTube creator studios where they just stick a magnet right on the wall and they just put their phone to it and then just record their videos without the need of having someone else to actually hold their camera. So I'm excited to see all of the third-party manufacturer stuff that actually comes out in regards to using MagSafe with the latest iPhone. Oh, and the last thing before we actually get into the iPhone 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max is that Apple is no longer giving us the Earpods with the lightning connector that's going to be in the box, nor will they be giving us the power brick for charging as well. However, they are giving us a USB-C to lightning cable now that will unlock fast charging capabilities. Now, this is something that we first saw with Apple with the iPhone 10, I think it was. And if you guys have never used iPhone fast charging features using a USB-C to lightning cable, then you guys are missing out, man. Now, I'll go ahead and link down below the Nomad cable that I personally use to be able to charge up my Apple device, and I think it works pretty good, and it's a nice, good, rugged cable, but it is cool that they actually are including that in the box now. So the iPhone 12 and 12 mini, y'all, I feel is a powerhouse of a smartphone that is affordable for today's smartphones, where companies are pretty much steadily hiking up their prices, but aren't necessarily delivering on the features or gimmicks that they actually are offering. So if you guys are coming from an iPhone 7, an iPhone 8, an iPhone 10 or 10s, then I think that it is time for you guys to make the upgrade, because you will notice a major difference in screen quality, camera quality for photos, camera quality for videos, especially with that nighttime capturing mode. And overall, you guys will feel and have something new, because to me, that's important too. I feel like when I get something, I want it to actually come off and feel new, especially if I'm spending my money on it. And although this is the design of the OG iPhone 5 design, which was personally one of my favorites, that and the iPhone 6 was definitely my favorite iPhones to date. 5 because of the design, and 6 because it was kind of like that transcending of iPhone features that they came out with that phone. And it's cool that they actually are bringing that back, because I feel like this is the change that we need in a space that is pretty much only getting small incremental changes at this point. Now, if you guys are coming from the iPhone 11 or the 11 Pro, then I don't personally think that this is going to be an upgrade that's going to make you feel like you're actually getting a whole lot more, simply because from the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 12, it's not that many changes that you will actually notice. Now, obviously, the biggest change is going to be that you guys will notice design, because video quality on the iPhone 11, especially the 11 Pro, is absolutely already amazing, and it's still no other phone that is touching that phone when it comes to smartphone cameras in this space. So I don't think making the changes from the 11 to the 12 is really going to be that big of a difference. All right, y'all. So now that you guys pretty much got the scoop on the iPhone 12 and the 12 mini, let's go ahead and talk about the iPhone 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max and who I actually think that this phone is for. Now, this phone is purely for those people out there that plan on doing a lot of creating from their smartphones. Period. Reason being is because this phone is geared heavily towards those smartphone creators that want the best that any smartphone on the market actually offers at this time. But before we actually get into all of that, the iPhone 12 Pro is the exact same size as the iPhone 11 Pro, but the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is the model that I would personally go with because of the larger screens, and I just like having the larger screens, is a crazy 6.7-inch display, which is now Apple's largest iPhone to date, and it's actually going to cost you starting around $1,100. And the 12 Pro is going to cost you about $1,000. And these actually come in the best looking colors, in my opinion, which are graphite, silver, gold, and that Pacific blue. Now, I mentioned earlier that I would let you guys know which one that I'm personally going to be picking up, none other than that Pacific blue iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now, I always like going for the larger display because I like watching content on my phone, and that Pacific blue looks just so dope to me. Like, I don't feel like any other color compares to that Pacific blue. Now, the sides of the iPhone 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max have a surgical stainless steel material that just instantly makes this phone and device just look way more premium in the design department from the iPhone 12 and the 12 mini, which the size of those phones is actually made out of aluminum, which doesn't look bad, but it ain't that stainless steel, let's be honest. Now back to the cameras with this phone, because pretty much everything else about this phone is very similar to the iPhone 12 as well as the 12 mini. But the first thing is now we actually can shoot Apple Pro RAW. See, kid, what the heck is that? Well, I'm glad you guys asked. Well, it's basically when you guys take a photo on your phone and it will now give you guys the highest resolution possible of that version of that photo, stripped down to give you guys the opportunity to completely change the photo's white balance. You can change exposure, tones, and colors after the photo has been taken. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Devin, I can already do that on my phone when I take a photo right now. The difference is with the version that you guys are talking about that you can do right now, think of it as more of like, that's the JPEG version. So that's a version that is pretty much when you take a photo, it pretty much does all of the color science and everything for you guys. So it's more of the put it in the microwave, warm it up real quick, and you're ready to eat version. Versus when you take a Pro RAW version of a photo, this is basically going to be the stripped down version of that, and it's going to allow you guys to transform that photo to be whatever you guys want it to be. So for example, think of it as like a coloring book with just the outline, but you can actually paint the color of what you actually want that to be. Raw photos gives you that much freedom to be able to transform those photos and the color and the exposure levels of that photo to a whole new level. Hope I explained that to the point where you guys actually understood it. I tried to break it all down. Let me know down in the comments if I did a good job. But basically, you guys can do all of that editing without losing any of the crispiness and the quality of that photo. Now, with all of that being said, there is a downside to Pro RAW. Now, the downside to this is file sizes. Now, the file sizes of RAW photos tend to be a lot larger, so it will take up a whole lot of space in order for you guys to get that quality. So if you guys are going to be scooping up the Pro and Pro Max version, I would not get the 128 gigabyte version, as you will eat up a lot of that storage space super quick if you plan on taking a lot of Pro RAW photos. Now, I'll probably go with the minimum 256 gigabyte option or higher if you guys plan on using that feature a lot. So to answer that same question, should you guys upgrade to the iPhone 12 Pro or the 12 Pro Max from the iPhone 7, the 8, the 10, or the 11? Now, my answer is I would only buy this version of the iPhone 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max if you guys really are into heavy phone photography, smartphone videography, and editing on your smartphone. Then I think that this phone is going to be the option for you. But if you guys have an iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max, then I would still actually make the upgrade, because I would imagine that you bought that model because you wanted the higher end camera specs and different things like that to be able to create. And I feel like getting the iPhone 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max, you guys are getting that extra sauce with photos, with Pro RAW, and with videos with that Dolby Vision recording, which will make your videos look noticeably better even after social media compressions at 4K 60 frames per second. So with all that being said, man, I want to know down in the comment section below, which iPhone do you guys have right now, and which one you actually plan on upgrading upgrading to, what colors. Let me know all of that down in the comment section below. So now that you guys know everything you guys need to know about the iPhone, let's go ahead and talk about the one thing that Apple didn't tell you during that event that you guys must know. So go ahead and click on the video at the end of this, and I'll see y'all over there. Peace. Did you guys click on the video yet? Yo, why you still here? Click on the video.